Would you rather go back to your past or see what's in store for your future? I would have to say I would rather do neither. If you go back to your past, then you can relive some of your best moments. And if you see your future, you can see what your career and who your family will be. Now, why would someone oppose reliving or experiencing these things? Well, here are my reasons. Well, let's start with the past. If you were able to go to the past, then you could see an old friend or cherish the normal moments longer. I know that with quarantine, especially around December and January, all I wanted to do was to go back in time where I could talk to my friends and actually go to a store. Also, being able to go back to get more inspiration for songs by remembering that one pop culture reference that one person made in 6th period. Who you are from your experiences from the past, for the good and bad reasons. Maybe you had a bad group of friends, so now you know the importance of sticking to the people that make you feel important. If I was given the opportunity to just observe my past, I would probably think about it. But let's admit that if you were a person asked to do time travel, you would totally forget about the negatives and just jump right in. Maybe I would watch myself go on a vacation, or get lost in time with my kindergarten best friend. But you would also see the hardships of your past. Like the first time meeting that jerk from dance, or that other jerk from dance. Dance was filled with all the worst people. Or even seeing the moment when you made a small lie that created a wildfire of more and more secrets. But you have to admit that no matter what, even if you try to resist it, you will want to change those hard moments. Warn Sleeping Beauty about Maleficent's curse. You will try to stop yourself from telling that first lie, or warn yourself that the guy in the corner may seem nice, but he will just ditch you at the most important moments. You're a jerk. Now, I will come back to this later, but let's move on to the future. I've always been curious about my future because of how the different things I want to accomplish. If the 3-hour concerts in my room will extend outside of my bedroom into the real world someday. If my pretend interviews I find myself giving will be the questions I get asked one day. We are joined here today to see one of the biggest artists on the globe right now. Everyone please welcome Reese Ryan Steinberg. Hi, thank you for having me. We have been hearing news that a new album may be in the works. What can you tell us? Are there any Easter eggs that we can find? Yes, I am working on some new music that will be coming out very soon, and I promise that there are some Easter eggs everywhere. What about outside of my singer-songwriter dreams? What about basic life and family stuff? In your future, you can see the people that will help you when you're at your worst, who you will spend Hanukkahs, Christmases, and birthdays with. Are you with someone that you already know, or someone that you might just bump into in the future? You just don't know the full story. My best comparison would be if you just looked at the pictures in a picture book. You can see the main cast of characters, but you don't exactly know what's going on. You don't know names, personality, or even simple catchphrases. You miss the important moments when you forget to read the words. I can also see me being the type of person that once I see what my future is, I'll just get lazy. Especially if it's a dreamlike future with a sold-out arena with posters that say my name. Instead of doing everything possible to accomplish the impossible, I would be sitting on the couch watching West Wing with the assumption that everything will work out on its own. Besides, do you really want to spoil the fun of finding out who is the one and how others will know you as? You see, I feel like everything regarding seeing your past or future would just create an alternate timeline, making your life completely different than how it is today. Now, let's set our time traveling rules. Let's have our time traveling rules be in a way that can affect your future. AKA, unlike in Harry Potter where it just always happened. More like Back to the Future. Because in this scenario, your actions could completely alter your future and anyone else that is close to you. And that is something that I feel like no one ever talks about. What about anyone else who is close to you? If you change your life, then you would also be changing theirs. We are always just so selfish, and the fact that people always think about their future and no one else's. Because I'm someone who likes to think about the, what if I went right instead of left? Or what if I met that other person first, and John was only in 4th period? I like seeing how everything would be different if one thing went the other way around. For example, without quarantine, I would never have written half of the songs I did. Songwriting would have continued to be just a fun hobby for me. I wouldn't have gotten a guitar until much later, probably the last day of 8th grade. I would never have taken the time to watch through all of Taylor Swift's past concerts and albums. I never would have taken a break from Instagram, and I would have had a much more enjoyable summer. Taylor also never would have released Folklore and still would have had Loverfest. I would have had a normal freshman year of high school with a homecoming. My family and I would have gone on our yearly trip to Hawaii over Thanksgiving break, and because Holden passed away the day after Thanksgiving, I would have missed my last days with him. I would have had to wait much later to see some of the newer TV shows that I got introduced to this year, from The Office, American Housewife, and West Wing. And if you think about it, I probably never would have started this channel. Now, my dad gets freaked out about the what ifs, but they just encourage me to look at the bright side of the most heartbreaking of times. So you have to remember that even when you feel like the world is covered in clouds, it will only take a matter of time before the sun will find its way in. Back to time travel. Let's go back to what I said about having a hard time and resisting the urge to change your past. I feel like I would be trying my best to stop me from having feelings for someone, express my feelings, cherish the moments together, or find that person in a crowded room. First, I'm trying to stop myself from having feelings on someone. If I knew that I stopped having a crush on someone after a bad experience, then I would probably try to fix that mistake from ever happening. If you found out that other person that you liked you at the same time, then I would also want to go back in time to say everything that's been on my mind. Perform a mini concert of all the songs that I wrote about him. I would try to tell myself to enjoy the normalcy of life, because you never know when it can change. Then the finding the person in the crowd is from those moments when you find out that someone was there, but you didn't know. For the future, I feel like I would only be working to get to the spot that I saw, not noticing all the different steps it takes to get to that perfect place. In conclusion, I feel that you have to deal with whatever happens, even if it's embarrassing or just plain hard. You need to look back at your past mistakes as well as others' mistakes, so that way you know what not to do in the future. Plus, can you really be your extraordinary self if you can't appreciate the journey it takes to get there? My question for today is, would you travel back in time or visit your future? That is all for today's video. Like always, please hit the like, and because you're in that area of the screen anyway, why not hit the subscribe button? I will see you next week, and I hope you stay your extraordinary self.